Welcome. Please find a seat that'll be comfortable enough to where you can arrive and get settled into stillness. While you're arriving and settling, I'll encourage you to practice a 3-part meditation technique called Tristhāna. The first part is called Ujjayi breathing. The victorious breath is where you don't push or pull on the breath, but simply allow the exhales to be long, gentle, and the inhales to be the same length, depth, and volume. Breathing in and out through the nose is ideal, and at times you will need to slow the breath down, not speed it up, but slow it down by engaging the muscles at the back of your throat that you use to whisper. It's often nicknamed Ujjayi breathing, like this. Please continue this as uninterruptedly as possible. Making the sound of your inhales and exhales equanimous and the shape of an I, quiet in the beginning, louder in the middle, quiet in the end. The second part of this technique is called bandha, where you bond your attention to what's happening within the framework of your physical body. And rather than reacting to sensations with craving and aversion, begin to detect and direct the flow of subtle energy from the pelvis to the feet and back so that it is flowing as optimally as possible, Mula Bandha. You can do this by cat-cow tilting the pelvis forward and back, engaging or releasing the muscles of the legs. Same with Uddiyana Bandha, from the spine to the hands. You can do this by cat-cow tilting the rib cage, skillfully relocating the shoulders, and engaging or releasing the muscles all the way down to your fingertips and back. Lastly is Jalandhara Bandha, the neck and the head. You can continue to check in with the sound, the Ujjayi breath at the back of your throat, seeing to it that your jaw is unclenched, and noticing what the eyes are doing. The third part of this 3-part meditation, Ujjayi breathing, bandha, is what's called drishti. Drishti is a gazing technique where you might find yourself looking outward at the totality of your peripheral vision, but drawing your attention inwards to observe what's happening within the mind. The environment, your body, sensations, the current state of your attention, and the sanskaras, the expectations, memories, and desires that tend to control us until we bring them under control. You can observe the contents of your mind from the outside inward. This is called introspection. Or better yet, you can practice drishti by observing the contents of your mind from the inside outwards, by positioning your locus of attention, consciousness, the subject behind every observation. So you can watch the cravings and aversions arise, linger, and pass away, while remaining still and undisturbed. So this is the 3-part technique called Tristhāna, and I'll encourage you to implement it as we move through our practice today. On your next Ujjayi inhale, simply lift your arms out to the sides and up overhead, letting your hands come together by the time the lungs are full. And as you exhale, just allow the arms to come back down to the rhythm of your Ujjayi breathing. Please do this twice more with bandha, focusing your attention on not just the obvious, but the subtle sensations within your body, directing their flow. From the pelvis to the feet and back is Mula Bandha, spine to the hands and back is Uddiyana Bandha, the neck and the head and back is Jalandhara Bandha. One more. Also aim to maintain drishti, not just outer awareness of your entire peripheral vision, but awareness of what's happening within the mind. Now place your hands on your knees if you can as you inhale and round your spine forward like a cow. Full extension of the spine, gently compressing the back. And then as you exhale, round your spine backwards like a cat. Flexion of the spine, and go back and forth 2 more times to the rhythm of your breath. The Ujjayi breath, of course. Implementing bandha from the pelvis to the feet and back, spine and the hands in the back, the head and the neck and back, and drishti. Now as you inhale, just lift your right arm up. And as you exhale, bring your left hand to the left and make a gentle side stretch, being sensitive to the obvious and subtle sensations with Ujjayi breathing, bandha and drishti. Feel free to explore this shape by leaning forward and back, but aim to avoid overstretching, which is a burning sensation, by taking the responsibility to move your shoulder blade up or down. Find the place where the discomfort of the stretch is enjoyable, sweet, gentle, and playful, rather than sharp and overbearing or intense. Muscles need at least 30 seconds to optimally unwind once you've initiated the stretch, sometimes more like a minute. Please don't check out during this process, but check in with the help of the Ujjayi breath, bandha and drishti. When your next inhale arises, try to ride the wave of the breath back up and use your exhale to lower the right arm at your side. Take a breath to notice the obvious as well as the subtle sensations. When you're ready for the next round, inhale the left arm up and exhale to the right. Though there is much lengthening on the left side of your body that's likely to beg for your attention, as you're attending to Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha, and Jalandhara Bandha with Ujjayi breathing and drishti, give some attention to the right side that's being compressed and doing the heavy lifting. The practice of yoga or drishti is to render explicit what is implicit, to shine a light on what is hidden so that it is revealed without doing violence to it in the process. Feel free to linger here as long as you like, but when you're ready to come out of it, inhale back up, and exhale, lower your left arm. Now for rotation. When you're ready, inhale both arms up overhead once again. And exhale, twist to your left, bringing your right hand to your left knee and the left fingertips behind you. Inhale, come back up. And exhale to the right. Please do this 2 more times to the rhythm of your Ujjayi breath with bandha and drishti. You'll notice at times that you want to speed the breath up. It's a sign that craving and aversion are starting to sprout. See what you can do to be like a master gardener and bring these activities of your mind under control rather than being controlled by them. Yoga is about the process, not the end result. It's being here now with integrity. Now kindly make your way to the table posture with the Ujjayi breathing, bandha and drishti. Hands and knees pose is called Upitikasana. Hands shoulder width apart, knees and feet hip width apart. Allow your body and mind to arrive in this shape. And check in with your foundations first. Try pressing into your fingertips and thumb tips instead of the palms, and then place your palms down. It's called claws to paws, so you can have some influence over how much weight you put in your hands and where. And from here, as you inhale, drop the belly and lift the chin, what's called the cow stretch. And exhale, round your back and tuck your chin in the cat stretch. Just 2 more times to the rhythm of your Ujjayi breath, Bandha and Drishti. And find the place that is neutral between the cat and the cow. So your head is an extension of the spine. And lift your right leg up off the ground, parallel to the ground. Aim to draw this leg into its socket. Keep it integrated, but extend back through the heel so you maintain a good foundation in the upper body with claws to paws. Continue Ujjayi breathing and consider lifting your left arm straight out in front of you. In a similar way, keep that arm integrated into its socket while you extend the fingertips forward away from the back heel. Bandha is also known as energy locks. So you're directing energy through your body skillfully to facilitate a desired response. So in this shape, while you're building strength statically, a burning sensation will emerge. But rather than just clenching your muscles and hoping for the best, see what you can do to move your attention from the pelvis to the feet and back, and make any adjustments that could help improve circulation during this area, throughout this area. Same with the spine to the arms and back, and the neck and the head and back. Now you're welcome to come out of this posture anytime you want, but if you want to strengthen muscles, just simply use them to the point of exhaustion and keep going a little bit, playfully of course. When you do decide to give your body some relief, please rest in the table posture if you can. And know that if you need a complete rest, you can always walk the hands forward and rest your head in what's called the puppy. Maybe even your seat to your heels in what's called the child. Sometimes a breath or two of rest here is all you need to get back into a state of resilience. Feel free to rest here anytime you want for as long as you want. But if you're ready, kindly resume table posture, Pitakasana. And lift your left leg when you're ready. So you continue Ujjayi breathing. Try not to rush the breath, let it flow on its own. As is the breath, so is the mind. Consider lifting your right arm as well, concentrating your attention inside of your body. From the pelvis to the feet and back, try to get the energy flowing optimally here as the burning sensation slowly accumulates. Same with the spine to the hands. Press into the claws and then the paws of the left hand. Try to keep your right arm integrated into its socket as you extend it forward away from the left heel. And same with the neck and the head. Keep your head an extension of the spine rather than lifting it high or drooping. The unclenched teeth continue the Ujjayi sound at the back of your throat as you practice drishti, not just looking outwards, but inwards at what the mind is doing as it's doing it, while approximating the ideal of self-control. Craving and aversion just come up in our mind. We can't help that. but you can choose how you respond to it. The practice of yoga begins with choice. When you're ready to give your body a rest, which does not have to be now, please once again come back to the table, and perhaps even the puppy or the child. In the child, with your thighs together, your back is going to round more like a cat. And with the knees apart, it'll be more flat or even round down like a cow. Resilience is where your body and mind bounce back from stress to where they were before. And everyone needs time and space for resilience. Take as much as you need. When you're ready to resume, come back up into the table with Ujjayi breathing, Bandha and Drishti. Curl the toes under and lift your tailbone up as high as you can, up and back, what's called Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Here, as you let your head hang below your heart, relax the jaw and the neck. And direct your concentrated attention into the foundation of your hands, claws to paws, position of your shoulders so the energy can flow optimally in this upper body part, as well as from the navel all the way to the feet and back. Feel free to cat-cow tilt the pelvis, engage or release the muscles of the legs, and press more intentionally into the big toe mounds and little toe mounds for good circulation. From here, start to slowly walk your hands back towards your feet, focusing more on the process rather than the destination. But when you do arrive in the standing forward bend known as dhāraṇāsu, at the back of your mat, bend your knees and gradually straighten your legs. Relax your neck and your jaw. And feel free to keep your hands on the ground or even a block so that the stretch in the backs of your legs is not burning, but is a sweet discomfort that you can work with. Mula Bandha here, concentrating your attention on the flow of energy from the pelvis to the feet and back. Might mean pressing more equally into the four corners of your feet so your ankles do not collapse inwards, but rather remain balanced over the heels. You can engage the front of the thighs to release the hamstrings on the back. But the most potent part would be tilting the top of the pelvis forward towards the toes like a cow, or back like a cat. It's subtle, but it makes a big difference. So when that's sorted out well enough, you can just let the energy flow. You don't have to keep correcting it. For Uddiyana Bandha, you can cat-cow tilt the rib cage independent of the pelvis, or even grab opposing elbows to add to the weight. And Jalandhara Bandha is the neck and the head, including the sound of the Ujjayi breath, as well as the practice of Drishti, which is not just what your eyes are doing, but what the mind is doing. Now take your time to come all the way up to stand. If you want, you can ragdoll, stretching your back. Otherwise, you can bend your knees and come up with the straight spine. Tristhāna. From Tadasana, the mountain posture, lift your left foot on the inhale, but lower the heel, the roots of the toes, and the tips of the toes on the exhale. And in a walking meditation, make your way to the front of your mat with Tristhāna. Try to feel all the sensations that are happening as they're happening, with the stability, calmness, and wakefulness of Ujjayi breathing, bandha, and drishti. The front of your mat, inhale the arms up over your head, what's called Urdhva Hastasana for 3 Ujjayi breaths. Feel free to tend to Mula Bandha here by cat-cow tilting the pelvis, toning the legs, and clearly positioning the feet. Uddiyana Bandha by cat-cow tilting the rib cage, positioning the shoulder, getting good circulation up to your hands. And Jalandhara Bandha with the Ujjayi sound, and gaze at the thumbs while you're turning your attention inwards to the mind. On your exhale, bring the arms down and back in what's called the hummingbird. Bend both knees and lean forward. It's like Warrior 3, but a little bit more dynamic. As you continue Ujjayi breathing here, dial in Mula Bandha from the pelvis to the feet and back. Uddiyana Bandha, the spine to the hands and back. And Jalandhara Bandha, the neck and the head and back. From here, inhale, step the right foot back on a 45-degree angle and attempt to square your hips to the front of your mat in Virabhadrasana 1, the courageous nice person pose. Tend to a hip flexor stretch on the front of your right hip by bending your left knee more or less, cat-cow tilt to the pelvis. And then from here, if you press your palms together firmly with the shoulders all the way down and attempt to lift the arms, you'll end up compressing the lumbar and the thoracic spine to build strength in the bones. Then you can look at your thumbs as the drishti without kinking your neck. On your next exhalation, go ahead and bring your arms down into Virabhadrasana 2, slightly higher than the shoulders. And step your right foot back about another foot, with your right foot perpendicular to the left foot. Bend your left knee more or less to increase your strength, all with the help of Ujjayi breathing, Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha, and drishti over your left hand, Jalandhara Bandha. On your next Ujjayi inhale, flip the left palm up and come into the side stretch called Reverse Warrior, Viparita Virabhadrasana. Much like we did before, keep that sensation in bounds, not painful or sharp, but instead enjoyable, playful. As you continue Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha, and Jalandhara Bandha, Ujjayi breathing and drishti. On your next exhale, bring the left forearm to the left knee and stretch the right hand away from the right foot, what's called the extended side angle, Utthita Parshvakonasana. For those of you who are comfortable enough to bring your left hand down on the inside of your foot or the outside, feel free to do that or use a block. Otherwise, keeping your forearm on the knee is just fine. This is mainly a strengthening pose, but if you stretch your fingertips away from the foot, it can be a stretch for the right side of your body as well. Now, for the triangle, lift your right arm up and straighten your left leg, placing your left hand along the left leg at the knee, shin, or the ankle. The triangle posture is a balancing pose. You may feel it as a left leg stretch, so dial in Mula Bandha to keep the energy flowing optimally through your legs and pelvis. But classically, Utthita Trikonasana, the extended triangle, is a side core strengthener. So if you have a good foundation to build on, you can put less to no weight in your left hand. You might not feel the burning sensation on the left side of your spine right away, but trust me, it's there. On your next inhale, come back up into the star posture, dhāraṇāsu, and allow things to settle in this neutral, active resting pose. Take one more inhale here, and with Tristhāna, ride your exhale back to the mountain posture at the front of your mat. On your next inhale, bring the arms overhead back to Urdhva Hastasana. Dialing in Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha, and Jalandhara Bandha. As well as Drishti, looking at the thumbs outwardly, but drawing your attention inwards to observe the activities of the mind, the approximation of the ideal of self-control. Then exhale, enter the hummingbird with your left leg lifted. Continuing Ujjayi breathing, dial in Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha, Jalandhara Bandha. For advanced Drishti, try to imagine what it's like to be a hummingbird. Inhale the left foot back on a 45-degree angle for Virabhadrasana 1. The Ujjayi breath continues, dial in Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha, Jalandhara Bandha. Drishti is at the thumbs, and of course the advanced version here would be to imagine yourself as a courageous, nice person. When your next exhale comes, step a little bit longer and narrower back into Virabhadrasana 2 with Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha, Jalandhara Bandha, and Ujjayi breathing, Drishti. And then inhale the right palm up, and the left hand down into Viparita Virabhadrasana. A courageous, nice person, also called a warrior, is not at war with other people, but with our common enemy, mental afflictions, ignorance, egotism, craving, aversion, and clinging that are out of control. So fight the good fight, conquering your mental afflictions. When your exhale comes, bring the right forearm to the knee and stretch your left hand away from the left foot in the extended side angle. Even though there's a lot of attention on the left side of your body here, as you Ujjayi breathe with Bandha and Drishti, bring some attention to the right arm, the right side of your body as well. The traditional Drishti is here at the left palm. Keep your attention drawn inwards. And when you're ready, straighten the right leg into the triangle, Utthita Trikonasana. As much weight as you need in that right hand for now. But press into the four corners of your feet like you're wearing roller skates. Tone the legs and the tilt of the pelvis so that you don't need to put any weight in the right hand. You can explore the side strengthening potential of Utthita Trikonasana. On your next inhale, return to the start. And exhale, let things settle here for a breath or two. In a moment, I'm going to ask you to move through these postures in a moving meditation with Tristhāna. So as you inhale with Ujjayi breathing, Bandha and Drishti, exhale your way back to the mountain and be still for a breath. Please memorize this so you can do it on your own in a minute. Follow your breath more closely. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, lift the right leg in the hummingbird. Inhale, Virabhadrasana 1. Exhale, Virabhadrasana 2. Inhale, Peaceful Warrior. Exhale, extended side angle. Inhale, triangle. And then exhale, try to put no weight in your left hand. Inhale to the start. Exhale back to the mountain. One more time together. Inhale the arms up. Bandha, Ujjayi breathing and Drishti. Exhale, lift the left leg in the hummingbird. Inhale, Warrior 1. Exhale, Warrior 2. Inhale, Reverse Warrior. Exhale, extended side angle. Inhale to the triangle. And exhale, put less or no weight in the right hand. Inhale, star. Exhale, mountain. Please take yourself through, when you're ready, a couple times to the rhythm of your breath. I'm here if you need me. Please take yourself through one more time on each side to the rhythm of your breath with your eyes open or closed. If you can practice Tristhāna, even imperfectly, but to the best of your ability, then you'll enter a state of flow where you're fully immersed in what you're doing while you're doing it, without comparing yourself to others. As is the breath, so is the mind. Keep the breath slow and peaceful. Take your time to finish what you started. No need to rush or interrupt what you're doing, but we'll all meet up in dhāraṇāsu, the mountain posture. Ujjayi breathing, bandha and drishti. Try to be still enough to observe the obvious and the subtle sensations, how your mind responds to them. Now, to prepare for stillness, I'll encourage you to rest your legs up a wall and practice what's called viparita karani mudra. So if you have a wall, sit next to it and roll it onto your back so your pelvis is close enough to it that you can easily scooch away as needed so that your entire sacrum is on the ground. Feel free to supplement this with a blanket or a bolster for extra cushion and support. A mudra is made up of an asana, a posture, a pranayama, a breathing technique, and a meditation. So if you're practicing Tristhāna, which is made up of ujjayi breathing, pranayama technique, bandha, where you're developing good posture wherever you find yourself, and drishti, a meditation technique where you're turning your attention inwards to observe the activities of the mind while approximating the ideal self-control, then every posture is a mudra. So while you rest here and your breath slowly comes back to normal, the whispering sound becomes calmer and calmer. Try to notice what's happening in the subtleties of your body. Having your legs elevated helps to improve circulation in the veins and over time can strengthen the arteries. Subtle energy that flows through our body, sometimes called the pranavayus. Normally a pranavayu flows from the navel to the feet, but now that you're upside down, gravity is helping this inner wind to move from the feet back to the navel. So viparita literally means reversing. And the purpose of this posture was not just to improve circulation of the legs, but to help us get control over our stinginess and pride, so that we can, instead of clinging and egotism, we can choose gratitude and being authentically ourselves, giving other people permission to do the same. As is the movements of the winds within your body, so is the mind. Nishchalam chitam nischalevate. A stronger version of this posture is called Salamba Sarvangasana, which you can do here by gently shifting the shoulders towards your ears a little bit and then toward each other. And you can push your heels into the wall and lift your knees up over your shoulders. Put your hands on your lower back and attempt to lift your legs away from the wall. This is nicknamed the shoulder stand, so that there's all the weight on your shoulders but none in your neck. This version is much more physically demanding, and the risks are greater as well. If you put all the weight of your body on your neck, it's unnecessarily dangerous. But if you've shrugged your shoulders toward your ears, not away, and the trapezius is taking the weight, your neck is not on the ground, then it is more physically laborious, but potentially more beneficial in improving the circulation throughout your body, or helping you to bring under control the pranavayu, which normally flows from the heart to the hands. By reversing the flow of the pranavayu, we can help bring anger under control. So instead of being bound to it by identifying with it, we can choose our response to it, transform it into how we genuinely wish to be. When you're ready to, please come back down. A counter posture to the shoulder stand is the Sphinx. So I'll ask you to roll over to one side and come onto your belly with your elbows underneath your shoulders. The Sphinx pose helps to move your body in the opposite direction. Move the chin away from the chest to gently compress the back of the neck. Continue Ujjayi breathing, Bandha, Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha, and Jalandhara Bandha, as well as Drishti. Now for our final resting posture, kindly roll over onto your back. Allow your palms to face up, with your arms about 45 degrees from your body. Allow the toes to point out. If you have chronic lower back pain, consider putting a bolster underneath your knees or a blanket. This can help improve circulation to the legs and the lower back. If your head is tilted backwards, consider putting a blanket underneath your head so that your neck is unstrained. Everyone needs space and time for resilience. So please give your body and mind these precious moments to rest in stillness. And even though that might be difficult, consider making a promise once you're settled to be still for 8 minutes. You may feel the desire to fidget or something else. See if you can use the breath to observe the true nature of this desire. One, it's impermanent. All things that are real arise, linger, and pass away. Two, even if you do move, it's not going to be as satisfying as you might think. And three, it doesn't have the nature of being you. That desire does not have to control you. It will if you take it personally. But if you can see its true nature, that it lacks intrinsic self-nature, you don't have to let it control you. You can instead practice yoga and bring the activities of the mind under your control. So feel free to ujjayi breathe if you need to. Otherwise, you can let the breath return to normal. Feel free to concentrate your attention within your body to direct the flow of subtle energy. But when you're ready to rest, feel free to just let go and let your attention do whatever it needs to do. Please rest. Feel free to rest in stillness for as long as you like. But when you're ready to, consider moving your fingers and toes mindfully, breathing however you want to, and then stretching your arms over your head gently. On your way up to seated, roll over to one side and use your top arm as a support to gently lift back up. Give yourself a minute sitting upright to know that the practice of Tristhāna is available to you anytime, anywhere. You don't have to make the sound of the breath to direct the flow of the exhales and inhales gently and softly. But doing so does help to settle the mind and improve your concentration. Prana isn't limited to just the breath, but rather it's coursing throughout your entire body, from your pelvis to your feet, the spine of the hands, the head and the neck. By tending to your body, you can help bring the mind into a more serene, non-reactive state. If we can be still enough, we can observe the subtle activities of the mind that tend to control us till we bring them under control. The practice of drishti can be taken with you anytime, anywhere, any place. I thank you for taking this time to practice yoga. May your practice continue with reverence.